Hey, good morning, y'all. It's Timothy. I literally just woke up. I'm here to talk to you about my dreams because they were weird. I had a dream where I got cast in like a movie and or some sort of porn that required me to be in contact with several of my ex-thug buddies. Now, for context, because in the last video I was talking about my feelings for this guy named Hey, let's just say within the span of 3 days, he's not even around anymore. He's got replaced by someone else. I'm dating a German dude now. He's great. Yeah, if you're like, what happened to Hey? I'll put it this way. What he was on some bullshit where he started being more cold and less chatty, and then he was chatty. Like, how do I put this? It's like I just kind of was like, you know what? I don't want the type of nigga who decides to text me when he already got up way early in the morning, and he only texts me when it's noon to send me a porn link. That's not cool. And no good morning, no anything, one word responses that take hella long to get. It's like trying to bleed a fucking stone. So I was like, you know what? I could get better than this. I tried to just like respectfully communicate it, like with a lot of me, I statements, like, oh, I'm sorry, I feel anxiety and this, and that. And like, it's not your fault. I have attachment issues and whatnot. I just think I'm not really getting the friend. I think because I'm not going to be able to see you for a while, and I'm highly attracted to you, and it's God's cruelest joke that we have such a good sexual compatibility, but I'm not going to be able to see you for a few weeks. And so I feel like we haven't had conversations like quite as often like we used to as friends, and we can't really have sex either. And now because of it also the distance that's forming between us, I'm it feels almost as if I didn't want to say outright that it feels like begging. I said something like, it feels like the wires are getting crossed to the point where the level of confusion I'm feeling is damn near almost relationship ish or like romantic based. And I don't want that. And so I feel like since we aren't quite doing the friend thing to the deeper level that I really wanted at, and I'm not being able to meet you for sex, can we maybe like stop meeting in for a while, and maybe we should just like drop contact until, yeah. And he kind of took that a certain way, and he got all antsy my direction. And next thing you know, he just was like, he started accusing me of wanting a relationship with him. Now, if you watched the last video, well, okay, it's a long story. Let's just say he started saying some shit that I didn't say, and he got defensive, and he's like, yeah, I'm not sure I want to leave a relationship and jump right back into a situation where someone's telling me I'm not doing or saying the right things at the right times, and da 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 da. And like, trying to be, yeah, that pissed me off. And he said more, but he just got really disrespectful with it. And so I was like, oh, well, really, I was just trying to say very nicely, you aren't filling the friend quota that I need in my life because we aren't talking, and we aren't filling the fuck quota. So simply put, if you're a fuck buddy and you're not fucking me and you're not a buddy, why do I need you around? You just, and it's like I can't meet you for months. I was gonna not see you just for like a few weeks until your life stabilized, you got your new place, then we could have fucked like animals every day. But no, you want to have an attitude. And so, and I really went off on him. I really was like, you are so annoying. I was just trying to communicate with you how I wanted to take a break because I didn't want to be unhealthy towards you. And I wanted to make sure that we would still stay on good terms and I could have a life outside of you. But okay, then. And I dropped contact, and he watched my Instagram and all that. He was lurking on my story. He saw all. Sorry, I'm touching my boob because my boob is in pain. I don't know. It's been aching lately. But they've also been getting bigger, I think. So bear with me. Oh, I need a massage. Yeah, it's been aching in the under boob area. Is that just what happens when your titties start sagging? I don't know. Then again, I haven't worn a bra a lot recently. I don't know. Man, it hurts. It's a searing pain in the under boob area. 1 second. But as I was saying, I just basically told him fuck you. And then he saw in my story how I really was going in depth about how I was just going to take a few weeks to focus on myself, take some vitamins, and how I had premenstrual dysphoric disorder and just wanted to like talk to him and communicate because I knew I was going to blow up any second from the amount of stress I was having, and I knew it was based in my hormone instability. I wanted to take like ashwagandha, maca root, and a bunch of vitamins to stabilize more hormones more. I wanted to eat better and learn stretches to be even more flexible. I wanted to align my chakras, and I wanted to get some hobbies and some interests and do things to make sure I had a life that didn't wasn't just gonna surround what's Hay doing. Has Hay talked to me all the time, blah blah blah, and I could keep things at a healthy balance. And he saw all that, and I think 5 hours later he did kind of think about it, but all he responded was some shit like, "Sorry, I had a rough few days, but yeah, I'll leave you alone. Sorry, Tam." And that was it. And he said something like, "Didn't mean to project or antagonize or something." And simply put, I kind of thought to myself, is that him trying to? Because I kind of I didn't like that response, and I plugged it into Chat GPT. And Chat GPT, I know it kind of tells you whatever you want to hear, but simply put, but I plugged that shit into Chat GPT, and I explained the context, and even Chat GPT was like, "Oh, if he really wanted to make shit better, he would have said a proper apology." He didn't truly apologize. He gave a dismissal. He said some bullshit excuse. It wasn't sorry for being disrespectful towards you. It wasn't I'm apologizing for not being as good of a friend to you and I want to make this right. It wasn't him putting in any effort. It was him basically doing like a pity response of sorry, I had a bad day. That's not an apology, you know? And then he proceeded not to, and then he just said he would leave me alone. And it's like he's not truly sorry, otherwise he would have said anything else, not just, "Oh, sorry, I had a bad day, blah blah blah, I'll leave you alone." He would have been like, if he really, really, really was trying to make things better and saw me as a friend. I'm taking my hat off because you already know how my hair looks like fucking. If he truly, truly wanted to make it better, he would have. But I don't feel like he was because he just wanted to be on that bullshit. And I don't fuck with that. And I talked on my Instagram more about it, and he saw everything and still decided, I'm not going to truly give her an apology. I'm not going to truly make an effort. I'm not going to get her an apology gift either. I'm just going to sit there and wait and just like keep watching her story till the end of time. And it was very funny because I remember like that same night a few nights ago, I was like, "Oh man, I'm done with him. I'm done with him for real. I can't believe he even did some shit like that." That really hurt. I thought he was truly a friend and I just wanted to improve our bond and I was trying really hard to be healthy, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. So, oh well. And then I went to bed. Woke up the very next day, and I had a whole new nigga by then at 8 o'clock. No, it was actually like fucking 6:30, 7:30 on the dot. I woke up to a message from a strapping young gentleman, the German guy, the new guy I'm seeing. And he was very sweet. One thing led to another. Next thing you know, we went out. We had a very nice dinner at this very nice tapas bar. We enjoyed sangria and all these little small plates, and he also got me a second like meal for dinner. Very sweet. I like when men do that. But yeah, me and the German guy, we had an exquisite time. We got a beautiful dinner. We had some pretty pleasant conversation. It was nice getting to know him. Oh, he was very generous. He ate the fuck out of my pussy, even though it was my first day on my period in the back of his car. I called him a lot of demeaning things at his request because he likes mean women and I like being mean to men, so it's the perfect little balance. He slurped it so fucking good. Like, don't get me wrong, Hey slurped my shit and it felt like he had three separate tongues from how fucking insane he was. I don't know how to explain what this new dude's skill was with oral sex. I'll put it to you like this way. I was home for like 45 minutes to an hour after we did our thing. And my body was still vibrating, my teeth were shaking, and I still had ringing going on in both ears. I think he gave me like 8, 9 orgasms. It was fan fucking tastic. It was so beautiful. I love when a man has sex with me so good that I don't even want to mention another man's name again, ever in my life. I'll even forget a man's name. Amen. It was perfect. So that's just a little life update there. And if you're wondering, yeah, I talked about it online. Hey saw it. He saw all of it. And he watched every single clip, but the one that really made him mad was this one specific clip where I just said, sometimes you need to be 10 toes touching the top of a man's Tesla, just touching his glass fucking ceiling in his car as he's slurping that shit as you're looking out at a beautiful sunset. And everything's gonna be okay. Also, he got me second dinner. And then Hay seemed very upset at that and unfollowed me. Now, me, am I the most. And then after that, I think he unfollowed me and stopped watching my stories. I noticed yesterday, because yesterday I was doing a bunch of activities. I was hanging out with a friend. Let's just say we were doing a specific task that I need to be quiet about. But let's just say we were looking at spaces for things, and there's not much I'm going to say more past that. And as I was too busy hanging out in the day during my friend, who's very cool, very flamboyant, very awesome. And we went out to all these different spaces. We had a lot of really, really, really good luck. It was a great time. Oh, and during the friend hang out with the friend, let's just say the specific friend I was hanging out with, another friend of mine that I used to be a lot closer with came up in conversation. I was like, "How do you feel about this guy?" They said, "Oh, I don't like." They talked about how he always was. I was like, "You can," because I'm a real ass motherfucker. I said, "You can tell me what you say, and I won't repeat it." And I know you're like, to me, you're about to repeat it on video right now. Yes, but simply put, in a space where neither person in this story will hear about it, and in a context that not even you know about. You wouldn't know which of my social scenes to wander into and tell this story to try to instigate drama. So I'm just saying it. But simply put, let's just say the guy I was hanging out with yesterday, he was talking about my ex friend, and he was like, I have to admit, he had an aura to him that I really didn't like. Very judgmental. And I said, yeah, he was a very judgmental person, very disrespectful, very judgmental, and the type of person to always complain about his life, but never ever truly want to make it better. And even would resent you if you helped him, in a sense, make it better. Because, like, he truly just wanted to complain and seem superior or have full control, and it just was all so strange. And we got to like talking about that was a huge fucking relief because a lot of people in the social scene know about this guy and he gets on everyone's fucking nerves. And then later on I went out, socialized a bit, went to a block party, saw cool dances, and enjoyed myself, and got flirted with by some very musty people. Disgusting. Went home later on after, checked my story, and then I noticed, like, oh, he's not watching. The Hey guy, Hey isn't watching my story anymore. He must have unfollowed. And I looked back and I saw the exact story that made him unfollow. And a part of me was like, yes, I'm glad I got to make him feel bad in the way he made me feel bad by showing him he was replaceable, since he wanted to treat me as if I was disposable and invaluable, all because I wanted the type of friend who would text me something like "Good morning" or "How are you doing?" and be excited to talk to me, not someone who would treat me like a nuisance for conversation or anything like that. And this is where things got a little weird. Like, because then I kind of was in a weird place where I was like, I'm glad I got to kind of hurt him a tiny bit emotionally. I know, it's not the best thing to say that out loud, but I did. A part of me felt prideful, felt happy. Like, oh, look, I made him upset. I made him upset because now instead of him being the one to munch me down and fuck me all the time, I've already found someone new to do that with. Someone new who can do that. And also, I forgot to mention the new German guy he also gave me some money because he wanted to be like, hey, go treat yourself to something nice. Go shopping for a really nice item. And also, like, get your toes done because he has a foot fetish. Like, how do I put this? I think he's into the financial domination aspect of, like, be a mean woman who asks for a lot and treats him like shit. In the bedroom, of course. And I'm fine with that. That works for me. But either way, it's like, yeah, he, like, hey, probably left because he just was like, could have been because he was heartbroken or disgusted or pissed or just like didn't feel anything. Could have been a million reasons. But I still thought to myself, I am a little sad that he's not watching anymore. Because I don't know, I don't hate the guy. And I guess I still saw him as a friend. And I guess a part of me, as sick as it is, was hoping that he would just keep watching my story until next thing you know, April hits. And then he'd be like, oh, hey, I want to like be your friend again, or I apologize, I'll do better this time. It's a complex what I'm feeling, but I don't know, I feel like he didn't really try enough within the time period that he had to do better. He knew what I wanted, he didn't do it, and that still kind of hurts. It's like he knew I wanted an apology, a proper one, and if not that, at least do the other thing that men do as a cop out and get me an apology gift. But no, very disappointing. Either way, whatever. I called up Hey because I'm toxic. And I guess I was like, what's gonna happen now? So this is what happened. But I remember once before I called Hey, and he picked up the phone on the very first ring. I remember I called him this time, like the phone was like, beep, beep. It did like 1.5 rings, and then you just hear like the sounds of someone like aggressively fumbling for their phone as if they were damn near lunging at it. And then, like, right as he said, "He," and from the start of hello, I hung up the phone. Why? Because I'm a fucking toxic bitch. But I felt happy. I was like, he likes me enough to pick up the phone that fast. That's so cute. I love when you can tell how much a friend or a lover likes you that way. It's so cute. Now, the real context of this video is just so I can lay out, like, dreams and stuff. Also, for reference, when I did hang out with the friend that I hung out with platonically the other day when we were searching for venues and stuff, let's just say they really were trying to make me feel special throughout it. Like, they bought me lunch, they got me a Mountain Dew because they know I fucking love Mountain Dew. They found a way to praise me at any step or corner that they could, platonically, all platonically. And they were very, very fun. And we had a blast, and they were talking about doing the same thing again sometime next. Like, whenever we get the chance to see each other again. And yeah, I think we got a lot of progress, and I'm really happy to see where things go. Now, this is the dream I had last night. I had several dreams, but let's go out with the first one. The first one, I had a dream where I was going to be in some sort of movie or porn that involved me to mandatory be on set with several exes. The exes who were there were Mitchell, because of fucking course Mitchell's there. Hay was there, and Hay, Hay's a little ugly looking, but so in the dream they showed a picture of him at his finest when he has like long, flowy, chocolate black curls and his nice full beard and his glasses and his beautiful eyes. You know, before he kind of changed his style to be a lot more alternative. He's still hot regardless. It's just like, I have to admit, I did kind of like his original look, but whatever. Freedom of free will. Plus, clearly, I don't hate his new look that much, considering I fucked him the way I did. Oof. Anyways, and then there was another ex. It was Maxwell. Yeah, Maxwell from high school. One of the first guys to traumatize me in a romantic sense in a way that couldn't exactly be unchanged and still affects me to this day, despite it being probably almost, if not more than 7 years, embarrassing as it is. And there was one other specific ex there, but I forget who it is. I think the reason I had a dream involving exes was also because at the specific block party I went to last night, I sometimes have gone, but sometimes haven't, because I usually, each time I'm there, I swear I see somebody who looks like an ex I fucked or a guy I went on a date with. And whether it is or it is not, it makes me anxious because it's like some people you don't want to run into, some people you did terrible things to, some people did terrible things to you. Sometimes things are just awkward with the person, and or you have been happy not seeing them for 7 fucking years, and you don't need to see them getting garlic fries with a bad bitch or whatever, or hanging out with their friends and being happy. I'm not mentally mature enough for that sort of thing. I will fight a nigga. So, and if I won't fight a nigga, let's just say I can't say what I would legally do, because let's move on. Let's just say we know how your girl is. So, me and let's see how much phone percentage I got. I got a good amount. Me, in my dream last night, I was in like a, if I recall, the set went pretty well. It was like a film shoot of some sort. And it was like white walls everywhere, like studio lights, all that. And I kissed Mitchell, and in the dream, I didn't really feel anything when I kissed Mitchell. It felt good to kiss Mitchell. I thought to myself, oh, this feels soft and sweet and meaningless. Like, it didn't really emotionally stir me in the way you thought. And then when it was my turn to kiss Hay, something was felt there. And it was a mix between, like, sadness, irritability, disgust, anger, something. Because I know they needed shots of us kissing. And this man, he came up, kissed me very quick, and then left. And I guess I still crossed my arms and was just kind of like angry. A mix between angry that it ended so brief, that it was so short, and angry that I didn't have more of it, but also angry that it happened. Like a bit of, excuse me, gross ass nigga, don't you dare kiss me. I don't like you. But also, I kind of want you to kiss me a little longer, at least if you're gonna do it, stay longer. And then, of course, when Maxwell kissed me, I was just fully outright disgusted. Like, oh, fuck no. Like, ugh. Like, he had to do a quick ass drive by kiss just to even get the shot they needed. And then afterwards, I guess in the dream, we all packed into a car. And I was packed in the corner of the car with, like, in the far, far back. As, like, I think, like, someone was driving. I don't remember who. Maybe it was Maxwell. But Maxwell was in the front. I remember that. I was stuck between Mitchell, his long leg ass, and Hay, and like they were making conversation with me. It was pleasant. I was talking to Mitchell more than anything, I guess. Um, and I don't know. It was, and a few other people were there. But from what I recall, as we were driving on like this long, 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 long foggy road, I remember specifically that I tried to make a joke or something. I tried to crack a joke that I thought was gonna be really fucking funny and hilarious. But instead, the whole car just went silent and stayed silent as if they didn't remotely hear me. And that hurt a lot. And I kept trying to joke more to cover up the fact that they weren't laughing and just keep going, but they still kept ignoring me. Now, I've had this happen several times in my real life, and it's funny because it usually happens from people who should say I should be a comedian. It's like, nigga, stop lying to me. And it even happened like yesterday when I was hanging out with my platonic homie when we were searching for venues. But I guess what really struck a chord with me and why this is noticeable is I noticed in the dream it's like in a car full of my fuck buddies or lovers or exes or whatever. I was trying to get their attention and keep their attention by making them smile or laugh or joking around, and they reacted coldly as if I was a problem, and they ignored me. And I think that's symbolic to how a thing that I've noticed with all of these men is that the thing that hurt me the most was being ghosted or being given like cold treatment after extremely, extremely warm treatment. So it's like, oh, how did you go from showing me this level of warmth to now I mean nothing to you? Like with Hay, it's like, oh, 1 second you were head over heels for me, buying me all sorts of jewelry and this, and that, and wanting to go thrift shopping and hanging out and this, and looking at me with such love in your eyes. And the next second, I'm not worth nothing more than a motherfucking porn ink at fucking 12 in the afternoon. Like, and you've been up since 8. And I'm not worth any sort of, hey, good morning, how are you, conversation, none of that. And treating me coldly. Mitchell, we already know how his ghosting affected me, and no offense, let's just say he still better watch his fucking back. But I might, but you know. And how that happened with Maxwell. Me and Maxwell, he was one of the first men I actually felt like I really, 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 really liked. And the way he vanished and abandoned me on a whim hurt me. And I guess it just symbolized my abandonment issues and how it feels to get ghosted, especially when I'm just dying for connection. It feels fucked up to just keep getting connections and then they vanish. And it's not even like, it's like, how do I put this? I don't think ghosting happened this much back in the day. Like, I like to think that at least back in the day, it's like you would get a letter in the mail, or you would get like a phone call, or you would meet in person and they'd end things and maybe even explain it to you why they ended things. I don't think it was just like the guy just fucking dates you and vanishes. That shit hurts. I don't like these men. Anyway, the next part of the dream got really weird. At some point, like we were all in like this weird sort of like death game. And the task was, I recall, it was like some sort of demon or yokai or whatever was basically telling us that we had to play like a fucked up version of hide and seek with them. And we were sent out to like this field. It wasn't a very large field. It was like this, like a playground looking with like some hedges or whatever that were in different shapes. And we had to specifically write on a note where we specifically would not be hiding at. Like we had to pre-guess where we wouldn't be hiding, even though we had no idea where the field would look like, what obstacles would be there, anything. So we had to write something like, I will not be hiding in this left corner, but then conveniently when you went out there was nowhere to hide but the left corner. And so really you had to just like find a way to hide yourself in the shadows, no breathing, no moving, completely still, lower your heart rate and everything. Or else if this like fucking demonic ghost fucking lady or whatever came out to hunt for you, she would motherfucking what would happen with her? Oh yeah, you would just turn into a pile of meat. And that's fucking terrifying. No one wants to be turned into a pile of meat. And this dream, I'm not entirely understanding of it. You know? Maybe I could decipher it. Actually, I think I know what this dream means. Yeah. But simply put, I remember in the dream it was scary walking out onto the dark and foggy field where it's like, you had to use your flashlight on your phone to navigate around. And when you would walk around, you would just see random hunks of meat, like just laying there, like huge, like just imagine someone's chest or rib cage or whatever turned into a huge fucking like damn near ham hock piece of meat. No head, no legs, no arms. And you thought to yourself, I don't know how they turn them into that. If it's magic, like boom, you're a ham hock. boom, you're a pile of brisket or a pile of fucking disintegrated bones and meat flesh, or how they fucking did it. All you knew is you didn't want to become it. Because what if that bitch was gonna cut you up slowly until you became that? And I hid, but my flashlight was still on. And she got close to catching me, but I guess somehow she didn't see me or spot me. So I was just grateful to survive. But I think if I had to take a shot in the dark, I would say that dream kind of has to tie into like how I try to navigate like my fuck buddies or my romantic partners. I try to let them know within like this is how I act, this is what I need, this is what I require. And like I try to guarantee like, can you make sure that you won't hurt me in this way? Can you make sure you won't hurt me in that way? In this situation, no matter what happens, can you, like I told Mitchell, can you promise me you'll communicate with me about however you're feeling so that there won't be any issues and that, we can just end things without any extra trouble. He made that promise, but guess where we ended up? With the exact opposite of that happening and me being heartbroken for 2 months. I asked for, hey, I was like, I want to have a friend that I have sex with, but I don't want that thing where you get cold to me after or vanish after. I want to actually be friends. And I'm scared of that happening to us because I actually really do see you as a friend, would like to have you around. And this nigga, he was like, yeah, we see where that ended up. It ended up with me having 10 toes on the top of a random nigga's Tesla, fucking getting my fucking pussy ate by someone new and all that shit. And several other people. So I think it was just kind of like symbolic of how, like, I keep talking to people who are pretty childlike with their bullshit and maybe even a little evil. And we will try to discuss, like, okay, I won't become a nightmarish person. You won't do this. And then we go out into this, like, playground where we're going to play games with each other. And it's dark and you can barely see, like, it's just like it's a playground and a battlefield. And then I'm there searching in the dark, trying not to be left in the dark about things. And then lo and behold, I end up finding out that it's like, oh wait, this was a trap. There's no other way to do this aside from where I will inevitably get hurt in the end. No matter what promises are made, no matter what is pre-agreed upon or anything, I will still in the long run be hurt. And I can try my best to hide from the pain and maybe I'll come out the other side unscathed and not get hurt. But deep down, like, they still should have never put me in that dangerous ass position. So I guess that's, yeah. And then I remember that dream ended. I woke up for a bit, talked to my German dude today. It was nice, it was pleasant. Also talked to my friend who I hung out with platonically yesterday. It was fun. And went back to sleep because I've just been feeling like sleeping. Lo and behold, I woke up. I mean, I had another dream. This dream was very interesting because it was like a comedy show. It was a comedy show in a dark room with a projector. And there were some people in the room that I liked, some that I didn't like, and some hot babes, I gotta admit. And at the front was like a bunch of comedians got on stage. Some of them did mediocre, some of them actually did really, really well. And why does it started going really, really well? This one comedian got on stage and he looked so fucked up. He looked like the guy from 90 Day Fiance. And I remember this was supposed to be the headliner comedian. He was supposed to be good. People were sticking around just to see him. He was the best. But he had hives and spotches all over his face and a closing up throat. Mind you, what I forgot to mention is the German guy that I've been seeing, he specifically told me that he is allergic to peanuts. And I remember that for the second meal he got me on our first date, I guess like he must have forgot that it had peanuts in it. Thankfully, he didn't eat it. He got it just for me. But I thought to myself that would have been a calamity if he tried that. That would have sucked. Holy shit. But you know what happened? Thankfully, like I was just like that restaurant really is like oof. They should warn people that that dish has peanuts because that could have been scary if I would have given my date a little taste of it. But whatever. Let's just say back to the dream so that I don't get too Tarantino with the story litany weirdness. In the dream I was having just this morning, I had the comedy dream. The headliner, I guess, the second he swole up on stage and was a sweating, purple, bloating, looking like he was about to explode mess, hardly able to perform, I knew, uh-oh, this nigga probably ate some peanuts when he wasn't supposed to. He performed, he did pretty badly, but he did just say, oh, give it up for our next performer, and the next performer, and I guess they had a surprise musical performance at the end, Cynthia Erivo, the lady from motherfucking Gravity. Yeah, I don't know, not Gravity, Wicked. She was there. which with her wicked garb, and she did that thing with her fingernails where she tapped all over her scalp. I don't know why she was there. I wonder what she symbolizes. Actually, you know what? Hay did tell me, like, the night before we ended our friendship, like literally the night before we had our big blow up argument online that led to us dropping contact. He did mention that he had a history of emotional cheating. So I guess this is worth to pause the story again to mention. Hey confessed to me because I was drunk that night, and I was like, "Have you and your ex really been? How long have you two been together?" He said 2 years on and off. I said, "I don't really believe that." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because that's a little too convenient." Like, oh, you've been together 2 years, serious enough to have an apartment together, and just you were conveniently off anytime you were trying to talk to me on Reddit and message me and be in contact with me. And probably prowling those subreddits enough where you would accidentally stumble on me, but you most likely saw other women who you wanted to meet for the sake of sex or talking. And I'm just saying it's a little too convenient, and anytime I've known someone who's been on and off, that's just slang for they were cheating. And he did kind of explain that he did emotionally cheat before, never physical, but I guess during the off moments of their relationship, or even sometimes when they did dated, he did talk to women. It never went anywhere physical, but he did do it just for the sake of like his ego getting stroked and stuff. I didn't expect that from him, but I guess I also sort of did. It was like not surprising, but also surprising. It's like, oh, I thought you were better than that, but in hindsight, you're a guy I met on a hookup subreddit. I didn't expect you to be the most. There's gonna be something wrong with you, inevitably, but I didn't judge him too hard for it. Maybe that's why it was Cynthia Irvo in the dream. But I could just be reaching because Cynthia Irvo is known to be cheating on all of her partners, and so is Ariana Grande. And now Cynthia and Ariana are apparently cheating with each other. And yeah, it's wild, especially because Cynthia Irvo's partner also is known to be a cheater. So it's just kind of interesting. It's a lover's quarrel where everyone's cheating on each other and thinks that the other person's their soulmate when they're really not. It's funny. Whew. Anyway, in the dream, Cynthia Erivo, I guess she was going to perform her amazing ballad Gravity, but then because she also ate peanut M&Ms, knowing that she was fucking allergic, because mind you, my German date is the type of guy to be like, "Oh yeah, I shouldn't eat peanuts, but I can eat one. Just one little peanut. It won't kill me. I'm a man." It's like you still shouldn't be eating peanuts. It throws up you get hives and it closes up your throat. Come on now. Anyway, but yeah, Cynthia Erivo in the dream, she ate peanuts so she couldn't sing, and then for some reason in the dream, this happens often in my dreams, people transform into other people out of nowhere with no context. So then she became Dochi. Like Dochi specifically during the D squared fashion runway modeling stuff. And Dochi it was like, ah fuck, I can't rap, I can't sing. And so her song was gonna come on for I forget which one it was. I think it was Anxiety, the new song she just released. And she kind of realized, okay, you know what? I can't perform with my fucking mouth open, but I can just serve face. Maybe that's what I'm good for. And so she just gets on stage and she starts posing really good and silently, like not performing music at all. And the crowd goes fucking wild because they're just like, yes. And then several people from the crowd, oh, I see why this part happened. Sorry, pause again. Last night when I went to the block party, there was a creepy dude who was hitting on me, but he was so creepy to everyone involved. And specifically when dancers were performing, he would get on to their turf, and like a lady could be upside down doing a handstand on another guy's knees or something obscenely fucking crazy ass tricks. And then this guy would walk up and tickle her armpit to see if he could make her fall type shit. Or like if someone else like or even if it was like a little kid performing, he would try to get on the stage just to like fucking outdo the kid or try to like embarrass the kid or do some shit. And he tried to start a fight and instigate a fight, and it was just super weird how he kept getting all up in their grill and shit. It was ridiculous. Like he almost got jumped by 6 niggas for that shit, rightfully so. I was like, I recorded everything. I was like, please jump this nigga. I hate this man because his nasty, sweaty ass was so weird. He did shit like kiss my hand and then rub it on his nasty ass wet forehead and tried to like yell with his funky, not monkey, musty, funky ass. Ignore my hand. Jesus. Sorry. Ignore you didn't see that. Let's just say this man straight up he was vile. He was gross, and he deserved to get his ass beat. But the community rallied around to keep us safe, so that was good. Now back to the dream. In the dream, several people who were in the audience kept trying to get on stage with Dochi, and they were creeping her the fuck out. Like one person, I guess they thought, oh, I could help her out by ending her set for her, and like the person sitting next to me, they get up, they grab her hand, and they try to do like one of those theater performance bows and stuff to try to make everybody like to finalize the performance so she could just get the fuck off stage and stop having to try to save her performance by like posing and stuff. And Dochi seemed grateful, but then multiple people came up and started doing that exact tactic, and then it just felt weird and predatory, and not like people were trying to help her, but that people just wanted to like have their little 10 seconds of fame and shine with her or touch her or be obnoxious with her. I didn't like that. I didn't respect it. I stayed an audience member in an audience member space, and you know what happened? Doshi, her beautiful ass, she strutted up to me off stage and she said, "Hi, I want to get to know you. Hi, what's your name?" And then she shook my hand, and then I shook and I said, "Oh, my name's Tam, Tamia, nice to meet you." And then she's like, "Tamia, nice." And she like refuses to let go of my hand, and she strokes it with her hand. And then even as she stands up again, she's refusing to let me go. She's holding on tight to me. And at some point, I try to snake my hands out of her grip, but then I accidentally touch more of her arm, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you have the softest skin known to man. Holy shit, oh my God." And it was amazing. Though she was looking at me like she wanted to fuck, and I loved that. Though she looked like she wanted to kiss me under the moon and stars and have a romance, she was locking eyes hard. She looked gorgeous. I was blushing. I was smiling ear to ear. It was awesome. I loved it so much. But yeah, Dochi was great. And then I remember I thought to myself that was so awesome, and specifically the next part was even more awesome because I got so much positive attention from Dochi. Then next thing you know, a lot of hot ladies in the crowd were like, "Oh my God, you're so fucking cool. Can we kiss?" And then I made out with a bunch of extremely beautiful, hot, luscious women. That was awesome. And I know what that symbolizes. It symbolizes not only the fact that I'm gay as fuck, and like, oh yeah, who am I? Yeah. It also symbolized like how I want to feel powerful. I want to feel special, like in the way my friend made me feel. And I wanted to like I'm glad that my friend took me along the other day. Like maybe they didn't truly need to, but it looks better if you bring along another person, and I was able to show my value because when my friend had a moment where he was stuck, I was still able to kind of like finagle in during conversation when he was talking to venue owners. I would ask about what time slots are free. Oh, do you have any low moments? I would ask specific questions and know how to butter up people a certain way, and it was a lovely time. And I really, really enjoyed yesterday. It was great. I'm glad I got to make a new friend and have a good time with them and check. And I'm glad like they thought I like anytime I brought up a place, I was like, we should check out this one spot that sells pho. Trust me, they have speakers. It's a huge space. Like I think they will really be into the idea. And like I even we could walk by random places. I would pause and be like, let's look at here. Let's take a quick little loop around. And then next thing you know, we'd find a spot with like multiple floors, speakers, microphone, lights, like very flexible with the pricing or anything. It would be awesome. Like we even found a church at some point, and I remember I told my friend, "Holy shit, look, it's a church. It's a church, but look. Huge venue, a stage, lights, good sound, all that, and it's entirely empty. They need people to come in." And despite me saying this is a church, like my friend fully walked up into that place and he was like, "Hey, what the fuck is this spot? Is this a bookstore?" Despite it clearly saying it's a church on the front of the building. And then the lady is just like, "No, this is a church." And then he's like, "Oh, it's a church. Well, hallelujah and amen." And the lady didn't seem to like him very well. And he also rushed in before I could even button up my shirt because my shirt was slightly see-through, but I was glad I wore the right colors and stuff. I introduced myself. I pretended I was a like I'm not saying I'm not. I don't put it this way. I respect all religions and I respect people who love God, and you know what? Praise it be. Amen. Do your thing. Amen to the Lord in heavens above. I still respect the religion and the concept. Let's just say. And I respect most people's religions, and I'm very open minded to what could be out there. But we talked about it, and I was like, I sweetened the deal. I was like, "Hey, just so you know, we actually are part of an organization that's looking to put on events to like help local businesses, especially to help with like improving one's like how do I have to bring the community together, especially like do outreach, especially support charities and raise money if that's something you're into. And I really helped, and he loved that. And then walking down the street, we also just so happened to talk to some other people who were like churchy people, and they were talking about how they were going around Oakland to spread flyers and banners. And I said, oh, the best place you should go for that is First Fridays in this one specific neighborhood. I gave the address of the neighborhood. I was like, if you go there, tons of people all over Oakland will be there. Like, lots of people love to go there just to promote their stuff. You'll meet people who are friendly faces and would love to like be a part of a cause like this. And they said, thank you so much, God bless, God brought us together today. And I was like, amen, sir, amen. And it also was perfect timing, because then we did just say, oh, we just got out of a church actually, and we were looking to for like, charities to like support and come fundraise for, and they were giving out flyers for like supporting like the homeless and those on drugs who are trying to get sober after a long time of like suffering, like, and trying to get good in the eyes of God and all that. And like me and my buddy were really in support of that awesomely. And yeah, it all came together very well. And like my friend made me feel very special and appreciated. And they would not stop talking about, ooh, when we get money from these showcases, you're gonna be able to get all the jewelry in the store, all the wigs you want, all this, all that. And they were really hyping it up very cutely. And they would not stop telling me what they liked about me and how they thought I was special and all that stuff. But truly platonically, at least to yeah, platonically. It was a very enjoyable time all around. So I guess the part in my dream with Dochi probably symbolized how I do enjoy it when I'm at a comedy show or a performance or anything. And sometimes I do have moments like that, and they feel kind of weird, as if I'm a Mary Sue in a story or something. And if you don't know what a Mary Sue is, it's a stereotype about a character who's just like too perfect, like overpowered, like everything works out a little too in their favor. But still, like I've had plenty of moments where it's like I'll go to an event and everyone loves me there. I'll go to a restaurant, everyone loves me there. I'll go to a comedy show, everyone loves me there. People know me by name, and they even were like, yeah, people in the local social scene that we're a part of, everybody knows who you are, and they really really like you, and you would be great for what we're trying to do. And and it just feels good. I guess it just symbolized my urge to feel special, especially like it just, yeah, because even once before, I remember I went to this one strip club comedy joint so much that the host himself, he was on stage and he said, actually, everyone in this room, I want to give a toast to this young lady right here, because she comes out every Monday to spend her money and to support this business, and always is nice and warm and claps it up for the comedians and the nice ladies working here. Give it up for her. And everyone clapped super hard and gave me a toast, and I raised my drink, and I was like trying not to cry because I was so embarrassed. I didn't know if I should toast to myself too or not. But I blushed and I smiled and I said, thank you. And I drank my drink with the happiest smile on my face, trying not to cry and trying not to look too artistic with the way I smiled. But I was in a great mood. I loved that so much. It was a wonderful time. And that happened a few years ago, and it still makes me smile to think that to this day. And that's what the dream kind of reminded me of. So, yeah. And then what's so funny is the next part that happened in the dream. After I talk to Dochi and after I make out with a bunch of beautiful, hot women, and I remember some of the women actually I remember specifically from special events, like events where I went out with my natural hair and a cute ass outfit on to support my friend's music. Yeah, I remember that specific night. I was at a concert for my friend at the time before he got exposed as a predator. I was sitting there, and his eyes as he sang were on me the entire time he was singing, and it made my then boyfriend at the time very very jealous and hold on to me extra tight as I danced. And like the whole night I kept getting compliments left and right, flirtations left and right, even some jealousy moments from other girls. And I remember specifically I kept having fine ass women in the bathroom be like, you are so fucking gorgeous, you are so beautiful and attractive. And I look weird when I smile huge, obviously. People get confused because if it but like it's like it goes from this to this, or thank you, because it's like I got autism but I'm happy. Or if I try to blush, it'll look like, oh, like I try to make normal faces. I'm working on it. But yeah, I remember it's like, do you know how good it feels to not only think that you look gorgeous, but also to be given attention by gorgeous people and wonderful women? Oh, it was amazing. And I remember that was another night I felt very special. I was cutting it up on the dance floor. I was dancing. I was happy as hell, knew all the songs. I was in a great mood. It was awesome. And I love that I was able to feel special in real life. And that is an honor and a blessing. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to have the life I've lived. But I'm also happy as hell to yeah, that was one of those nights where I just felt like a star, and it felt like everyone's eyes were on me. And I even thought about other times I went to social events. Like one event I went to, I guess I just decided I'm gonna cut a rug on the dance floor. I dressed up like Sexy Storm to this cool Halloween event they had, and I like did a little bit of belly dancing and goth dancing on the dance floor, and I must have left quite an impression because next thing you know, I had a bunch of people from the motherfucking event following me online and smiling at me every time they see me. It was wild. It was like, oh shit, this is fantastic. Amen. So I guess the dream was just like, hey, you want this. You want to feel so undeniably special. You want someone to notice how special you are and to admire you and love you. And it feels good to know that in real life I am being treated specially and that people do see me special. And I'm glad that people see my value. It makes, like, even when sometimes I have dismissed it, I'm so glad that people see my value. Plus, I even mentioned to a friend before about how when I stopped going to a certain comedy mic, then no one showed up because it's like, simply put, it's like not only because I was the only audience member, but it's also because it's like specifically they liked what I brought, the energy I brought. You can't get that from other people. So, but yeah. And yeah, and then I guess the dream was like, hey, don't you want to have hot lesbian sex? And it's like, I guess so. I don't know where that part came from. That was a little random, but it's like, yeah, you know what? I do like when hot, pretty women notice me online and treat me special, and that does happen, and I'm always grateful for those moments. But then the next part was actually kind of funny because in the middle of me making out with these girls and having a great fucking time, out of nowhere, Hay is there, and Hay, you know, he looks like how he did when in at his ugliest, like the fucked up hair and the septum piercing and all that, and tattoos and all that shit. And in the dream, for some reason, in the dream they made him like 5'3" because I guess they wanted to make him have short man energy. But they immediately made him be like, oh, none of the girls here are giving me their Instagrams because they don't want to fucking to like type in my long ass username. They're saying it's too complicated, and I looked at his username. It was some overly complicated shit with a very obscure reference that was obscenely long. It's like no one wants to take a million years to type out all that many underscores and hyphens and all that shit. And I said, how about you change it to something a lot more simple real quick? Then they can just add you on the fly and you'll have no issue. Like just real quick, you can change it back later. And he like the look he gave was like, no, I think they should just be smart. I think they should put in an effort to be intelligent and not be fucking stupid. Because it doesn't even take that long. They could just make an effort and try, but no. If I have to be the only smart person. And I thought to myself, this nigga came in here killing the vibes. Fuck this shit. And that's right around the point where I woke up in the dream. And I already knew what that symbolized. It symbolized my ex-friend, the one I mentioned earlier in this very long video, this story. In the video, it symbolized specifically how me and my ex friend, who I knew in the comedy scene, how he specifically was not very good as a friend or as a comedian, and how he was the type to complain all the time about his life going nowhere, his career going nowhere. He would always claim that he was stonewalled out of comedy and no one's putting him in any rooms, but that was a lie. Tons of open mics would let him go on and had plenty of slots. He just didn't want to wait his turn like anyone else to prove he's got what it takes. He also didn't write jokes. He didn't, and even if he got a slot, he wouldn't show up or he wouldn't perform. And it was and he would just constantly complain. I even had to tell him at some point, how about you just perform in your own rooms that you host at your own open mics so that then you can fucking like get it together. And it took him forever to even do that. I remember I fully had to snap at him and be like, yeah, nigga, you're a comedian who doesn't write jokes, doesn't perform jokes, and goes around saying everyone's fucking stupid because they don't know what a fucking Safeway Catholic is. I googled what a Safeway Catholic is, by the way, nigga. Not even Google or ChatGPT can tell me what Safeway Catholic is to this day. So it's not that everyone else is fucking like. And I remember when I told him that, he said, "Well, it's not my fault. Everyone else is just so fucking stupid. They just need to try and read books and learn things." And I said, "Okay, well, you're making jokes to, like, you're fucking making random references to the Iliad, and no one, like, it's like you have to, like, no one fucking has read the entire book of the Iliad, nigga. Get it together. You can't just make a joke about page fucking whatever of the Iliad. No one has read that shit." And like go, I don't know, perform at a college of intellectuals then, not a fucking greasy ass bar. And even then, I'm sure, like, yeah, nigga, even then the joke wasn't even that good. Like, he was just very fucking annoying to be friends with. His ego got in the way of every goddamn thing. And the worst part about it, the worst part about it, I remember I told him before, I would be like, hey, I know a bunch of like event spaces and venues where you can set up your comedy. Like, and this was even like a year or so ago. I would be like, hey, this one spot that's a burger joint, they would love to have comedy there. Like, it's huge, it's massive. It's like two spaces, multiple floors, like all sorts of shit. I think it could really, really be fire. And did he go with it? No. We kept talking about it. He would roll his eyes and say eventually and act like he wanted to. And then he never would. And then you know what happened? A year later, someone else who is now a pretty solid friend to me, they took that space and they motherfucking, yeah, now they have successful comedy that rakes in fucking money and tickets and shit. You want to know what else happened? Eventually, I found another spot. I was like, hey, here's another wine lounge that you could go to. They would love to have you. They would love comedy there. They're interested in that sort of thing. And you want to know what happened? He didn't swoop it up, but plenty of other people did. And they got their comedy shows there and they were massive fucking hits. Do you know how tiresome that shit is? And then it's like, then that same friend repeatedly has been doing that over and over and over again, being like, oh, we would love, we da over and over and over. Like, and then like, now their new thing is complaining, like, ooh, no one wants me. No one wants to fucking book me on shows. No one wants to start a show with me. If I do get a show, everything's out to get me. How about you shut the fuck up? Because then I told them for several times for weeks, I was like, guess what? And yeah, like, it's really fucking shitty to know that it's like I can have a friend who really, really, really wants to pretend that they're my friend, but they're gonna resent me if I give them any good advice, and they're never gonna take it. And they don't believe in themselves, and they don't believe in me, and they act like I'm not special, and they act like everyone around them is a fucking idiot, fucking stupid, not funny, all sorts of shit. And let's just say I've left that friendship and have been welcomed into the arms of people who truly treat me special, and maybe things are gonna come out of it, and I hope they do. Ooh. Sorry, I had a off-screen thought. But simply put, yeah, do you know how fucking much it sucks to be around someone who complains about their situation but doesn't change it? It's like, whole time, even recently, I gave them several lounges months before. You want to know what their dumbass did? I told them about the wine lounge. I said the wine lounge would love to put on your dating show so you don't have to go back to your old job at that bar and have to put it on in front of those people who have repeatedly sabotaged your set. You want to know what they fucking did? They did not remotely require try to reach out to that place, at least from what I can recall. Or maybe they didn't have the funds for it, so I'll give them their credit, because we maybe they were asked to charge a fee that they couldn't afford, and so they went back to their old job at the bar and they put on the show there again, even though there was a risk of sabotage again. And did they take any of the notes that they begged me for? Nope, for 2 shows straight, they have not done that. And they were simple, easy notes. And just, I'm so tired of them. But yeah, niggas can be so fucking disappointing, dude. So motherfucking disappointing. And I noticed that I know that Hay and Seamus are both white men. I, sorry, I didn't mean to say Seamus's name, but at the same time, fuck it, that was my buddy Seamus, who I'm no longer really friends with, because, yeah, reasons that we all know. He's very disrespectful, arrogant, and a weird mix between, he's just the most selfish but also self-hating person I've met. And you get tired of being around people like that. They are buzzkills and they fuck up your life. When they can't fuck up their own, they'll fuck up yours. So, you want to know why I think it was Hay in the dream? Because Hay did the same shit. Hay technically did. The type of guy where it's like, oh no, Tamia is no longer going to talk to me. She doesn't want to talk to me because I disrespected her. Sure, could I give her a genuine apology, not just a dismissal? Could I actually make an effort to want to talk to her and prove that I am willing to have a conversation with her, and make more of an effort to be a friend, and also maybe find time to see her in the coming weeks so that we can be good for each other? Could I maybe say hello, good morning, how are you, and not just send her a warning? Could I maybe do things like that to actually make sure that it's an actual friendship being maintained, and not just her being spammed with porn links every day and given cold amounts of attention, then with absolutely no gratification given? in any way, shape, and form, sexually or friendship like. Or he could have done the cop out method of, I'm going to buy Pia an apology gift, like a fancy ring or a necklace. He didn't. So you know what? I moved on very quickly. In under 24 hours, he got whiplash from how fast I moved on. But simply put, the signs were there, the warnings were there, and he got to see me post videos of me going out for tapas with a nice, wonderful German man, and then hear how happy I was to go home after with my pussy ate body full on vibrating, having a great fucking time. And he unfollowed because he's a bitch. He doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know how to talk about his feelings. But bet your ass, he's fucking complaining because it's like, oh, she moved on. What the fuck? I don't like that, and I didn't want that. Well, maybe you should have tried. Maybe you should have, yeah. It's like you should have realized sooner. And it's like, yeah, I'm just saying, it's like we had our little fight at like 12 p.m. that day, and then at 5 p.m. or so, he bothered to respond. It's like, I'm just, and then the best he could say is, oh, sorry, didn't mean to antagonize, blah, 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 I'll leave you alone. It's like, that's not really a real apology. It's like, with no effort to fix it given, no plans, no strategy, it's just pretty dismissive. And I know I could just be reading into it because ChatGPT could be an instigating ass bitch, but you know what? She instigated me into the arms of a much more generous and very talented oral sex man who, guess what? For the past several days, the new guy I've been talking to, it could be 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. on the fucking dot. He will text me, hey, good morning, sweetheart, how are you? And he will immediately talk to me about wanting to get me gemstones and about all the wonderful dates he wants to take me on, and how he loves that my scent of my perfume is still in his car, and how badly he wants to see me again. I'm just fucking saying. And I like the new guy I met. Like, you know what? If ChatGPT was instigating, it did something right because it instigated me into the arms of someone who is much more thoughtful, intentional, and actually wants something romantic with me. Not someone who's gonna, because with Hey, all I was saying was, I want you to, I want to have conversations again, like we were friends, you know? Because, it's not like we can have sex for a few weeks, but I guess I just desire more out of a friend conversationally. And then he just was like, oh, well, if you want romantic based affection or more consistency, then find someone else. We should put a pin in this. And then I was like, okay, cool. You're annoying. Thank you for showing your true colors so I never have to talk to you again. And then he gave like a weak ass apology 5 hours later, and it wasn't even really an apology. Like, really just a sorry, didn't mean to antagonize, I'll leave you alone, blah blah blah. Like, it seemed, and he only said he would leave me alone because I told him to leave me alone, but it seemed like he was trying to keep the door cracked, hoping that because he said he had a bad few days or whatever and just a rough day at work, that I'd be like, oh, why was your day at work rough, sweetie? When really it should be like, he should be rereading his messages like, no, I was actually a little out of pocket to Tamia. I didn't need to say that. She was just saying she wanted me to be a friend who didn't spam her with porn links. And he probably realized the consequences of shit. I had a girl who was flexible, hourglass figured, big titties, sexy brown skin, extremely moisturized, very pretty. The first girl I've had sex with in ages, especially with my relationship ending. He hadn't had sex in damn near half a year. And he finally had sex with me, and I was all sorts of vocal. I felt all sorts of good. I made him feel comfortable and special and desired and all sorts of things. Like, dude, I'm gonna say it. I won't say the last part, just in case someone has really made it an hour into this video. Let's just say I did something really risky with him, and you probably know what it is just from me saying that. And it's like, I'm just saying, you got the full fucking package of that, and now you want to complain that a text is too much? This ain't high school, nigga. In high school, I would have felt for, ooh, you're texting me too much. We don't have to text all the time. I'm a grown woman now. You just got, like, big, luscious brown titties and raw pussy. And you want to sit there and be like, ooh, you want me to ask about your day? That's too much. Cool. And then guess what? He complained. Like, guess he's the type of guy that didn't take action in time. Didn't take action. No apology gift. No cash app. None of that. So I fucking left. On to the next one. In the great words of Gucci Mane, girls are like buses, more fish in the sea. Miss one, next 15 more coming. That's my life motto. And so I dipped. Because fuck you. And then now he wants to be all sad and heartbroken and complain like, oh, we aren't talking. Oh, well, yeah, I asked you to talk to me. You said you didn't want to and you wanted to end things. So I ended things officially. And now you're sad because things are ended. Yeah, maybe you should have talked. You had plenty of time at any stage to talk, but you're a pussy ass bitch. Fuck you. And now you want to complain that I got a new nigga. Like, fuck you. You could, like, but it's okay. So yeah, that's what my dream symbolized. I guess I'm getting it off my chest because it's good to analyze the dreams. You get some interesting messages and signs from it. So yeah, I guess it's because I've been feeling turmoil about a lot of different exes and fuck buddies subconsciously in the back of my brain, and I want to fully get over them so that I can just go about my life okay. I kind of told myself that the last thing I want to do for the rest of this year is stress over a man, and I still went to bed last night stressing, and it's so unnecessary. Alright, bye.